that. Nothing
Okay,
more.
Dr. Ranganathan, man keeps talking about stopping several wars. Here's an instance of him starting this war and, stopping it himself. How do you see this new statement by Donald Trump? Is this a result of miscalculation, misadventure, as Professor Chalani was saying, or, like Major General Bakshi or RSN Singh are saying, that let's hold our horses. Don't read too much into it.
Good evening, Pranesh, and good evening to my esteemed fellow panelists. I speak purely as a layman because the other three are exalted experts. So please bear with me on that account. I want to make very briefly 2 points. Number one, again, I speak as a layman. I think we're making that fatal, if at all paradoxical, catch-22 situation of analyzing Trump, trying to make sense of Trump. That is a fatal error. We must understand it. Trump can never lose. America will lose. But Trump will never ever lose. Trump will never ever be embarrassed about any decision that he has made. If that was to be the case, he has made at least 1 million decisions in his life, specifically when in power in the last 5 or 6 or odd years, when he should have been acutely embarrassed. But he has never been. So, for us to say Trump has got it wrong, Trump should be embarrassed about this is a disaster, absolutely not. The man carries on as if nothing has happened. He is not responsible for any decision that he makes. America is. It is a tragic loss for America, never for Trump. Trump is a bully. Please understand the psychology of a bully. A bully never loses. In this case, Iran has spectacularly, I have to say this, that no other country, no other leader of any other country has managed to do it, called the bully's bluff. Possibly because its back was against the wall. It had nothing to lose. So Iran called it out. No other nation has called it out. You see every other nation genuflecting, bending towards Trump at anything that he says. The latest horrific example was the poor Japanese prime minister had to withstand the awful statement Trump made in front of her on Pearl Harbor. Trump does that all the time. Iran has called it out. But it is not Trump's loss. It is America's loss. But more than that, it is catastrophically Israel's loss. The loss of face is always of sensible people who talk rationally, logically, who take steps logically, who go into war logically. So in this case, it is a massive defeat. If at all it leads to that, we are all predicting that. It is of Israel, then of America, never of Trump. How on earth could they go into this war without securing the Strait of Hormuz, without actually snatching away from Iran the trump cards that it held?
Right.
They went in there. And now they are having to say that Trump is saying, I just heard his statement that this is what they've materialized is regime change. The world is laughing at them. But Trump doesn't mind that. Trump is used to it. Israel is the one that is going to suffer going forward.
General Bakshi, how does that dynamic play out? Because, we've heard from Trump. We haven't heard anything from Netanyahu on, pausing hostilities, etc.
Look, Netanyahu cannot prosecute this war alone. For his fighter bombers to reach Iran, he has to get the KC-135 tankers, which the United States has. Right? Iran will not be able to prosecute this war. Its interceptor stocks have come to an end. The last 2-3 attacks on Tel Aviv have gone unanswered. They were not even able to intercept those missiles. Iran has attacked Arak and Dimona nuclear plant. First day it attacked the quarters where the scientists and technicians were living, did heavy damage. Then it attacked Dimona. Netanyahu said this has been the worst night of my life, because some 5,000 Israeli citizens are supposed to have been wounded. The Israelis never say how many have died. I feel sorry. I feel very sorry. It is people who are very close to our heart. The simple fact is that they have supported us in every war, but I thought this time they had grossly underestimated their enemy, which is a cardinal error in military operations. They led the Americans to also underestimate. They have taken Donald Trump, unfortunately, up the garden path. He's gotten his reality check. Like Dr. Ranganathan says, he is shameless. He'll pull himself out of this and leave the Israelis holding the can, holding the baby, right? It is, I feel bad. I feel bad for our Israeli friends. But the simple fact is, sir, that Donald Trump may care a damn about the rest of the world. The rest of the world has to care because the global economy has been hit very hard. And let me tell you something, the economies of India, Japan, South Korea, Asian countries, European countries in particular have been hit very hard. The only people who have gained from this are Russia and China, sworn enemies of the United States. The national security strategy of the United States says China is the main enemy. They have gotten themselves bogged down in the Middle East,
Right.
at the cost of their capabilities against China and Russia. If China attacks Taiwan in the month of August, when the met conditions, tide conditions are absolutely right, America will be up the gum tree. America has damaged itself. Its military reputation will take a beating because a guerrilla army wins if it does not lose. A regular army loses if it does not win.
Americans have
got into
lost
an
men,
escalation
machines,
trap.
and they're bleeding money by the minute. So, Colonel RSN, you can say that let's hold our horses, but Trump doesn't care about anything. We could have an even bigger panel, but nobody knows what this man is going to do. Even he does not know.